Hi, guys. Thanks for tuning in to today's episode of the Non-Typical Project. Today's episode is sponsored by Denny Dennis Sporting Goods. They're my local hometown archery shop that I've been going to for years. They've got top-of-the-line gear and even better people. So if you ever find yourself in the St. Louis, Missouri, or surrounding areas, be sure to swing on in, check them out, and tell them I sent you. Especially if you've got a blown-up compound or crossbow, their archery techs absolutely love that kind of work. So without any further ado, let's get straight into the episode. All right, guys. Welcome back to another episode of the Non-Typical Project. Today we've got Matt Berger on. Matt is somebody that I actually had him come up on my feed pretty incessantly. I could not get him off my Instagram reels, Facebook reels, every app I open.
Yep.
Matt tends to be there.
Once I'm there forever.
You're just stuck, man. I cannot get away from you, but it's hilarious. I was actually talking to Hunter because one of your videos came up when I was talking to him, and he was like, man, he's actually from like pretty local to us. You're only about 3 hours away from me over there in southwestern Missouri. So I said, you know what, let's go ahead and get him on the podcast and talk about it. So Matt, welcome to the Non-Typical Project. It's good to have you on.
Thank you so much for having me, man. Very much.
Dude, it's going to be a blast. We got a lot to cover here, but I do want to jump into this as promised. Your social media presence. You have a habit of making reels that you know how to get people fired up and get them in the comments and get them going. So when did you start doing that? When did you start kind of posting those friction reels?
So I started with doing the social media stuff about 2 years ago now. It'll be 2 years in August. And I decided I wanted to do it because, killing big deer, it's really hard. And I thought it'd always be cool to be a guy in the industry, to do some stuff, do some fun stuff, and maybe even try to make a living doing it. And I knew with like, even if, say, I was to get lucky and shoot two really big deer every single year, two big deer in Missouri is not going to do it. To get out enough
Yeah.
content, to be consistent, stuff like that. So I was like, man, I can shoot a bow decent. I'm mediocre looking. We might as well just start shooting a bow in front of a camera. So I started playing with it. I invested, got me a slick rig. I'm gonna be upgrading here soon. I have an A7R3 with a Tamron 35 to 150 f2 2.8. That sounds like random numbers for most people, but some people will
Yeah.
get that. It's a pretty
Oh,
slick
yeah.
rig. And I just started posting videos of me shooting. People started liking it. And then I think it was like my 45th video, I had like an aha moment where I made the first archery ASMR video on the internet. Now it's at like 5 million views. So that really
Dang.
that boosted me. Like was instantly up to around 5K on YouTube, and it just climbing from there, doing ASMR videos, just some more of your cinematic shooting videos. Because there's so many guys trying to do the shooting stuff. You have to be consistent and you have to put out good looking stuff.
Yeah.
Because like I was saying, I mean, there's 20,000 people trying to do the exact same thing that I'm trying to do. There's got to be something. You got to find a difference.
Sure.
In the beginning of my shooting, though, I did the bicep elbow down draw, and I would get absolutely flamed for that. And I was like, it didn't ever really bother me. I'm one of those guys, like, I'm 5'8", weigh 100 pounds, soaking wet. I get so much crap all the time. I don't even care, it's just another day.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I got thinking, I was like, man, I can use this to get views and use this to get comments, because comments is the number one thing for engagement. If you get people commenting, it's just going to boost your engagement. So I worked on my draw over the next year, doing just my normal shooting and ASMR stuff. And here about it was probably about 3-4 months ago, I posted a barebow video in the barebow group on Facebook. Like, it said, rate my form. And this was after I had gone to Lancaster and qualified 5th as a nobody. Nobody knew who I was besides my few buddies that are like Matt Hudson, Nathan Shaw, some of those guys. No one knew who I was, and I qualified 5th.
Yeah.
Shot super good. And then I post this video, and everyone in the comments are flaming my form. And I got a decent amount of views on it. I got like 80K views on it. And I was like, oh, I might be onto something here. So
Yeah.
it progressed from there, and I was like, man, how about I make a couple videos of me sky drawing with a compound?
Yeah,
Did that, and dude, instantly, especially on Facebook, all those old guys, dude, oh,
they
absolutely
hate it.
flaming me, and I love it. So, dude, I started buckling down. I post a video every single day now, and
Yeah,
I'd post anything. I have four-ish types of videos. I have my just normal groupings, which is just me shooting my bow, pretty grouping, whatever. And then I have my ASMR stuff. Always gonna do that. It always does so good on YouTube. I don't know why it is, but it's the YouTube algorithm hack. And then we do our shoot to encourage videos, which I love doing those. They don't ever do good, but I don't do them because I expect them to do good. I do them because I like to do them. That's where I
yeah.
do a Bible verse, and then whether I have something to say about it or not, and then I shoot a grouping or whatever. And then I do the rage bait videos, and oh man, I love it so much.
Dude, I do too. I think it's funny. It's hilarious. It's so fun when I see those videos come up because I'm like, man, he's gonna get all the exact right people fired up in
Yup,
the comments. Like,
every
because
time.
you took it to another level with some of the sky drawing videos where it's not even like kind of, it's like you're 180
And
degrees
they
in the
believe it
air
too.
with that
Oh,
bow. And they're like, oh, you're overbowed. Look at all these guys, ego
oh,
draw weights or whatever. And I'm like, come on,
it's
man,
so funny. I
because it
posted.
takes very little research on you to
Oh,
be like, no, this
dude,
guy knows what he's talking about. If
it's
they just
so
click on
funny.
your page, they'll know like, oh no, he knows what he's doing. But it
Uh,
never goes that far. It goes straight to the comment section and
yep,
straight to tip tapping.
yep. I've got it to a point where I've got like PJ Riley commenting on my stuff, Gillingham comments on my crap all the time, and they're just like, if people would actually look and see where he's drawing the bow back and stuff like this. And then there's 50 old guys that are like, this kid sucks. This is terrible. Who's this guy think he is? Oh man, I have so much
Oh,
fun with it.
dude,
It's good.
yeah, that's a blast, and that's such a good way to have fun with it, because, we were just talking about it before we hit record, man. I got lit up a little while ago. You were one of the first comments on one of my videos of me shooting my bow, and your comment was, "Get ready for everybody to start telling you how to shoot your bow or whatever."
Yep.
And sure enough, dude, it wasn't 20 minutes later, the views started coming in, and the comments started
Yep.
rolling with it.
Yep.
I draw my bow low, and I don't know why I do. It's been like that forever. Like I draw real low and kind of rise up into it, and that's not the proper quote unquote way to do it. But I'm an awkward dude. I've got a 31.5 inch draw. I got double jointed shoulders. I've tried drawing the more correct quote unquote way, and you can hear my shoulders like rolling over as I do it. I'm like, no, this is how I'm comfy and how I can settle in. And I can do it that way. And man, I got lit up for it. So if you're posting if you're posting content of yourself shooting a bow, just
Oh,
be prepared. I've got friends that,
mm,
Cheyenne Johnson, a
oh
great
yeah.
example of that, Hunter's fiance. She is a great example of that because she can't post a video of her shooting her bow without it going viral. And there's always a couple of guys being like, I think your draw length's a little bit this or that. And you'll watch her kind of clap back in the comments like, I think, between all the professional shooters I've got around me, I think I'm doing okay.
Don't even get me started about the guys. Oh, dude, it'll crack me up, especially like watching like someone that's like somebody with shooting a
Yeah.
bow will do something, and then there's some 55-year-old guy that's like, I've been shooting a bow for 40 years, and I think your draw length's a little long. I really do. I think you should change that. It'll make you better. To some
Yeah,
dude
yeah.
that's like winning everything. It's like, dude,
Oh,
come on.
man, yeah, you can't. I'll say this much, when it's people reaching out and they're being like, "Hey, I think you should maybe work on this or that," or they're trying to be helpful. We can see where you're coming from, but when you're watching a video of somebody shooting a bow, I've never watched a video of someone, and unless it's egregious, can I tell that their draw length is off for them. And
Yeah.
I used to be an archery tech. I've been around bows since I was knee high to a grasshopper. Now I sound like one of those old guys. I've been shooting bows 40 years. Well, I've been shooting bows my whole life, and I'll tell you that I've never looked at a video and been like, that guy needs his draw length changed. Like I just let the guy shoot the bow, and let the people around him or his shop or his mentors kind of get around to that.
Mhm. Yep. Yep. You can only get so mad at it though, because it brings us engagement
Engagement and entertainment, man. I mean,
and
archery's
entertainment.
archery's full of that. It's full
Oh,
of a lot of
dude.
good times. I mean, and you can get that stuff anywhere. You can get it even on the ASA ranges whenever you attend to those. There's quite a bit of that stuff too. So it's
Oh,
all
that
in good fun.
it's something else. And then what also cracks me up is seeing all the guys that like I get it, ASA, take that serious, sure. But the guys
Yeah.
that take like your weekend shoots like all jerseyed up and like, yeah, we're shooting here. We got our team here. We're gonna shoot 5 down today. It's gonna be our record. And I'm like, bro.
Dude, stop calling me out. You leave me out of this. You leave me
uh,
and my negative scores
uh,
out of this, all right? Dude,
yep.
it's brutal. It's brutal. But you know what? That's a market that you have found your way to tap into, and it is so much fun to watch, man.
Mm,
But you do come from that background too, where you are in a shop a lot, and I wanted to kind of ask you about that. Kind of
yeah.
give us some background. How old are you? What are you doing full time? What are you doing for work? Kind of what's your life look like right now, and how does it kind of revolve around the whole archery deal?
Yeah, so I am 21 years old, the ripe young age of 21. Look like I'm 12, but I promise I'm 21. I uh I honestly got into archery when I was about 16. I I had a bow, I had some little diamond piece of junk bow, as we all did.
I had
Whenever I
one of
was
those.
like
Yep.
10 or 12, my dad got it for me from the Bass Pro Outlet. No clue what a draw length was. Couldn't even tell you what a peep sight was back in the day, just shooting
Yeah,
bows, having
yeah.
a good time. Hated shooting the bow, of course, because it was not right, but it's all right. But I obviously was deer hunting when I was younger. I started deer hunting around when I was 10, probably. So not as young as most people, but muzzleloader hunted when I was 10, all the way to where I was 16. And I, um, I saw my dad bow hunting some, and I was like, man, it just looks like fun. I want to do it. I just want to do it. It's easy as that. So I sat out there. I was trying to shoot my diamond with my dad, and I was like, "Let me try to pull your bow back." He's like, "Go ahead and try." So I'm get the thing pulled back, and he's like, "Oh my gosh, you can do it." And I was like, "Oh my gosh, I got it back." And I'm like not even close to the target because we were just trying to have me pull it back. And he's like, "Okay, now we got to figure out how to get you to the target." So I waddle all the way over and shoot the arrow into the target. But it was like, "Oh, we can do this." So I went from
Yeah.
being able to draw the bow like 1 or 2 times without not being able to pull it back, got stronger, of course, got it where I was shooting it. And I actually ended up shooting a buck with that bow before my dad even got to kill a deer with that bow. It was his new
Wow. What
bow,
kind of bow was it?
a PSE Embark. It was like the
Oh,
middle of,
wow.
yeah, just like a super solid middle of the road bow. I think it was John Dudley's version for that year, and he got that from the shop with Brad and the boys, and got shooting. And so Brad actually, so these are Midwest Archery, as you can see, that's where I
Yep.
work now. I'm 21. I've been working there for 3 or 4 years now, pretty much full time, as full time as I can be. I'm also a student. I'm going to school for accounting at MSU. I will have my bachelor's this fall, and then I'll be doing a 1 year accelerated master's. And I'll hopefully never sit behind a computer again and do accounting work in my life. That's the goal. But it'll be an awesome fallback.
So we're going, yeah, okay, plan B. I
That
got
is
you
going to
there.
be the greatest
I
plan
was,
B that anyone's ever had.
I was gonna say, man, for somebody that loves the outdoors and shooting bows, accounting usually doesn't like mesh real well with that.
It does not. I
Yeah,
back in the day I chose accounting for college just because I'm decent at school. We'll just say it that way. I'm decent enough at school that I just picked the hardest degree to get in the business field, and that's what I get. So, I'm getting my accounting degree. And so I've been working at the shop since I got out of high school, so this will be 3 years going on four. And getting in there working was a mess. I started out just hanging out too long, and I just hung around until my cousin Brad was finally like, "Okay, bro, come on, start working."
yeah,
So I started working, and I'm one of those guys that like I have to know why things are the way that they are.
absolutely.
And so I need to understand why this bow is doing that and how to fix that. And
Yeah,
it sounds super simple, but I mean, obviously there's so many factors that go into that. And one of my favorite parts of working in the bow shop is being able to explain all these very complicated concepts to your everyday people in a way that they can understand it. That's
for
like
sure.
my thing. I love being able to teach, I guess you could say. It's kind of weird being
Bridge the
taught by
gap
a
for them for
20.
all that stuff.
Exactly,
Yeah,
exactly. Like show them like, hey, obviously a bullet hole's just a starting point through paper,
yep,
but hey, if you do this, you will shoot a bullet hole through paper. Oh, I don't know. Give me your bow. I shoot a bullet hole through paper. Do it. Oh, I don't know. They finally do it and they shoot a bullet hole. So then I can explain, okay, this is why that happened, and this is what you need to do if you want to be a better shooter. If you don't want to
yeah,
be a better shooter, keep doing what you're doing. It doesn't, I could care less. But
yeah,
I would like to see you be a better shooter than you are now. So
absolutely.
it's just, it's a cool, super cool facet. So I've been learning, doing everything that I can in there. There's definitely points where you kind of stagnate. Like it's like, what do I have to learn next? Because
Yeah,
there really is only so much that goes into a bow, especially on a tech side of things. But it's been amazing, like I said, figuring out how to teach different people the stuff, using different life situations that those people have, different experiences, different intellectual levels, stuff like that, you know?
yeah, and I'm glad you brought that up, man. A lot of what you're saying right now, in a funny way, and I'm not much older than you. I'm 25, but you know, literally, we can rewind the clock back 4 years. I was
Mhm.
21 years old. I was working in a bow shop, and I was explaining those same things to guys that were twice my senior. And like
Mhm.
walking them through stuff and being like, well, here's why that feels uncomfortable. Let's try this, or let's get you shooting better through paper. Okay, if we can do that, well, maybe you do need to get that little man, one of my favorite things to do is rip those little 5-inch dampener stabilizers off of a guy's bow
Yep.
and throw on like a 10-inch bar, and then suddenly
Yep.
their hand stops doing the little waving thing. I'm like, wow,
Suddenly
look
they're
at
like,
that.
"Oh my gosh, I can hold my bow."
Yeah, yeah, just those little things, and kind of
Mhm.
working through that with people. It was fun. And it was just something that I got to kind of experience from that side of things myself around that literal same exact age, and that was a blast. And again, one of the things that was like kind of really rewarding about doing that kind of work was I have this super big passion for, obviously archery and bow hunting and all that stuff. And you got guys coming in that, love it, but they're not ate up about it to where they want to work on their own bow and want to do all that stuff. So whenever I'm able to work with somebody from like, they just bought this new bow, I walk them through setting the thing up. I
Mhm.
fletch their arrows for them, send them a field with all the stuff I promised them is going to work if they can do their job. And then they come back in the shop to me to show me pictures of, the
The
elk they
buck or
got,
the
the
doe or
buck
the
or
yeah,
whatever. And it's like,
dude.
dude, let's go. Like
Yep.
that. You can't,
Yep.
you can't make a more rewarding kind of, full circle moment than that. And it was such a rewarding experience and a really cool time in life, back when I was doing that. And, one of the things that always stood out to me was you had uh you had this moment where, you are in a sales position, right? Where you're selling
Mhm.
products, but at the same time there is a certain level of building trust with whoever it is you're working on their archery equipment and all that.
Absolutely.
Man, I used to have my bow hung up right front and center in the shop, and when people would
Mhm.
come in and ask about stuff, I'm like, this is exactly what I use. This is
Mhm.
this is the bow I'm gonna go take hunting this year, and this is how it's set up. And I would oftentimes I'd rip my stabilizers off my bow and throw it on that guy's, like, here, try it yourself. Try
Mhm.
right off of my bow or whatever else, like that sort of deal. Because you got to build that right with people. You can't
Absolutely.
just shove them the product in a box and hope they do it. This is something that they're trusting with, a really big moment in their life. So, I don't know how much
Mhm.
of that you get to kind of relate to there or how much that resonates with you, but
Absolutely. That's one thing that is so cool about Midwest. Like I personally, I don't even know if I could care less if I could say this or not. I don't make commission, and I will tell
yeah,
customers that. Like, dude, I could care like it goes back to this. Dude, I don't care if you buy this or if you buy that.
yep,
I promise you you'll be better if you do that, or that will help you in this way if you do that.
yeah,
But it doesn't affect me either way. So at the end of the day, I'm getting the same amount of sleep and the same amount of money. So I could care less if you
yep,
buy that or not. And another thing that's really interesting is having your stuff there so that people can see it. So like me, I'm an extremist with like my bars and stuff. 2 years ago, I'm actually like 3 years ago, actually, I was the first guy in the shop that threw the back bar on, really. Aaron kind
Yeah,
of did back when he was working there, but I was like the first one that really started that, and I was pushing it, pushing it, pushing it. Now we don't sell a single bow that doesn't have a back bar on it.
for sure.
Same with those AAE Mountain Series bars. I threw them
Yeah.
on because I was like, man, the Hoyt bars, not ripping on them, but they're $180. You get 1 ounce of weight on it. You can't even put weight on it because it's got that stupid dampener on the end that droops. Like, $180, or you can spend $100 and get this stabilizer that looks even cooler and comes
Yeah.
with 3 ounces of weight. So just being able to find stuff like that to connect with the customers and like build those trust points it's honestly vital. And then also reaching a point like of not trying to sell them stuff, but selling them your experience or your, like you said, trust.
Yeah.
Like I've got guys that I'll tell them like, dude, don't buy that. You don't need it.
Oh,
It's
100%.
not gonna
Yeah.
fix you one bit. I'm not telling you not to spend your money here, but like you don't need that. Save up, get this other thing, or hey, save up, get another bow next year.
Yeah.
Stuff like
Where's
that.
the I guess where do you push people are going to buy the bow they're going to buy.
Mhm.
But, whether they're buying a $500 bow or a $1,500 bow, what piece of equipment are you pushing them to spend the most amount of money on after the bow? Like, what do you rank that as importance wise? What's your next most, like, if you're going to splurge, put the money here?
I would say two things. One would be to get especially so if they're trying to keep money low, get a $150 rest, get the Q80 Ultra rest. I don't even shoot a Q80. I did for years, a couple years, loved it, had no issues, but I always change stuff. Get the Q80 Ultra rest. That's gonna instantly make your groupings better. The second thing, which is my personal favorite, you're getting a front bar, you're getting a back bar, and you're buying 15 extra ounces that you can play with.
Yeah,
Those are the two things that are going to change you. Yeah, you can get the $685 dialed slider sight, but that's not going to change how you shoot one bit.
for sure.
Those would
It
probably be my two things.
Yeah, it's funny. I think so for me, I always push them more in the direction of spend the money on the release and spend the money on the rest. And
Release. Yes, that's
I'll
another good one.
cut some
Yep,
corners.
yep.
I'll cut some corners on the bars because, like, for me, if I could throw everybody into a set of shrewd bars, I would. Whether it's index bars or track bars,
Mhm.
awesome freaking bars. I'm pushing into that. But on the flip side of things, I
Mhm.
sold the crap out of those bee stinger micro hexes.
Oh
I
yeah.
sold the crap out of
Oh
them,
yeah.
and I've hunted with them for a long
Mhm.
time. So it's like, not an expensive stabilizer.
Mhm.
So it's like, I cut corners on certain areas and I'm like, one of my biggest harps about the releases, and you mentioned commission earlier. I did actually want to hit on that.
Mhm.
That's one thing that I think was really important actually for you to say. 90 I would say about 95% of all of the shops that I know of, all of the shops that I've been to, they do not pay their Bowtex commission. So
Mhm.
it's not whoever you're buying your archery gear from, that Bowtech more than likely isn't making commission off that sale, and
I
so
wish I was.
if
Golly.
they're guiding you towards a product, it's probably because they really like that product and not
Mhm.
from a commission standpoint, right? And that's kind of an important detail because I used to tell guys that all the time. I'm like, "Hey, I don't care if you buy it right here, right now, today. Go online and go buy it. But this is what I honestly believe you should buy."
Mhm.
When guys are going for like an index release, I would always push them towards that Spot Hog Wise Guy. I'm like,
Yeah.
buy the Wise Guy. Or
Wise
if
guy
you're going
guy.
into a handheld, oh yeah, I
Yep.
was big time. And to me it was a matter of like I looked at releases like safety equipment. Like
Mhm.
not just, a pretty handheld. It's not just it's
Mhm.
like, dude, that is like your D loop and your release are the two things between catastrophic failure and getting injured
That's true.
and breaking the best shot of your life. Those are your two things that are holding everything together. So to me, it's like I can't cut a corner on a release.
Yep.
It better be good quality because I've seen them fail and I've seen releases bust, and I'm
It's
no,
not cool. It
no,
is not
no,
cool.
that's not cool.
Not
Because
at all.
at your first reaction when it happens, everyone's like, "Oh, your D loop popped," and you look at their bow and their D loop's fine, and you're like, "Oh." You
Uh,
know, it's always that gasp moment. So it's yeah, man.
or
I
those
can't.
guys shooting those. This is a little bit off topic, but or those guys shooting those two finger thumb buttons and
Oh
letting the
God,
release go through their hands. I've seen that probably a
dude.
dozen times in the last few years. Oh,
Yikes. Yeah. You know what? I legitimately like 2 weeks ago I saw that exact. That's why as soon as you said it, I'm like,
mm,
oh,
it
dude,
hurts
that's
my
rough.
heart because it just
Yeah.
smacks the back of the bow somewhere, and it just
Uh,
it's not
takes
cool.
a gash out. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Man, it's so yeah, I mean the equipment's important, man. And I hate to like, harp on, because I've talked about this before on the podcast. I hate to harp on like spending X, Y, or Z amount of money. It's not about,
Mhm.
spending the X, Y, or Z amount of money.
Mhm.
Archery doesn't have to be an expensive sport at all.
Mm-mm.
But if you are going to spend a little extra anywhere, there's just a few places to really focus on it. Like that's kind
Absolutely.
of my thoughts on it,
Absolutely.
and it sounds like for you too, that's kind of where you push
Mhm.
people is spending it in the right areas.
I promise you also the absolute last thing that I would spend a lot of money on, unless I'm doing a lot of Western hunting, is a quiver.
Oh
Guys will
yeah,
ask me like,
yeah,
"What quiver do I need?" I'm like, "Dude, if you're trying to save money, get the $25 quiver. It's gonna hold your arrows. I know you're taking that thing off when you're in the tree stand anyways. Just
yeah, yeah, yeah.
get it." Or they'll be looking at the $200 one or $250 quiver.
Yeah, I
Crazy.
don't get me wrong, they're nice, they're cool to have, they look slick, all that good stuff, but man, I as soon as I get in the tree, it's getting popped off the bow and
Yeah,
hung
it's
in a
getting thrown in
limb,
the
or it's getting
backpack.
shoved in the backpack, and you know what
Yep.
I mean? It's like whatever. I could have the amount of hunts where I probably could have gotten by just taking a little rubber cork and throwing it on the end of my broadheads and just shoving all my arrows in my backpack. It would have made me no difference. It's
Yep.
the same thing.
Yep.
But yeah, yeah, there are those places where you can cut corners and you can just avoid spending the money. Um, Especially if it means that you get, you know, a better rest or better
Mhm.
bars or whatever else. Yeah,
Yep.
dude, forget it. We'll, we'll
Well,
rip
not
a
even better bars. It doesn't matter. Like the other thing I tell people, dude, a stabilizer, unless you're a top 0.01%, a stabilizer is literally a freaking bar that holds weight. Get the coolest one that you can afford. That is literally it. You don't need this $250 stabilizer. It's literally a piece of carbon that's holding some weight for you. Now, if you're the top 0.01% of guys, you're also not worrying about probably buying your stuff because you're a stud, and you will be
Yeah,
able to feel
yeah.
the difference. I can't feel the difference. It's a freaking bar.
I would almost argue the same thing for arrows. It's like,
Mhm.
listen, yes, if you're shooting to 100 yards and consistently trying to group and you are a great shot, you will notice the difference between
Mhm.
cheaper arrows and more expensive arrows. But if you're the average guy not taking shots past 40,
Yep.
it's not
Exactly.
gonna it's not
Exactly.
gonna matter. It's not gonna matter,
Especially for
man.
whitetail. Out west,
Yeah.
obviously with elk, little different,
Yeah, I'd argue that
but
everything changes with the out west
mhm.
guys though, because they're taking longer shots too.
They are. They
Average
are.
shots in the whitetail woods versus out west, that's a different game.
Mhm.
That it's You're
Yeah.
talking about a different level of equipment in general.
Mhm. Yep.
Yeah, man, I like to hear that, and it sounds like you guys are doing the right things over there, and it's always exciting getting people into it. But one of the curious things about you is that you compete in barebow and you do a lot of recurve shooting, but then a lot of your content is compound. You're working on compounds all
Yep.
day. So where did the barebow stuff come from? If that's like, that
Mhm.
feels like it's 90% out of the
It's just
wheelhouse of what you're
random,
dealing
isn't
with
it?
every day. Yeah, it just
Yep.
kind of slipped in there.
Yeah. So when I first got into archery, I got a normal compound, whatever. Whenever I started working at the shop and whatnot, I got hooked up or whatever. Got a nice bow compound, hunted with that for a couple years or whatever, and then I ended up getting another compound, and I was like, man, I want a target bow. So I got a target bow, and because Aaron Shaw was working there at the time, good buddy of mine. Aaron. He's a stud.
Yeah.
He's that top 0.01%. So Aaron was doing this target stuff. I was like, dude, this looks like fun. I want to get into this a little bit. So I got me a target bow, shot the target bow a bit. I was above average. I mean, I wasn't above average on a like a high level tournament side of things, but I was above average compared to your normal Joe trying to shoot a target bow. But I was
Yeah.
like, man, I could put 1,000 hours into this, and I'm never going to be anybody on this side of things. And I've got the wrong personality. I truly believe that being a top dog in the pro archery side of things takes a certain type of personality. You have to be that really not unemotional, but like low
Stone
emotions. Your
cold,
highs,
dead, no
exactly.
feelings.
My highs and lows look a little bit more like,
Yeah, yeah.
you need to be a little more steady. I'm like a run all around. What's the next exciting thing? I'm about
A
having
bouncy
fun
ball.
and
Yeah,
exactly. So I've always been realistic with myself, whether it's been sports or stuff. So I'm like, okay, I need to get rid of this. I'm not ever gonna do anything with this. Let's get rid of it. So I got rid of it, got a saddle set up, gnarly saddle setup, which was a banger. I love that. Great decision.
yeah,
And so then I was just farting around in the shop, and Aaron's dad Nathan works there, and Nathan's one of the best barebow archers in the country. Him and his group of buddies are all the top guys. Him, Jeremiah Jones, Matt Hudson, Mike Davenport, all those guys. They're like the guys in the barebow world. And I'm watching Nathan shoot, and I was like, ah, it looks like fun. And they were getting ready for Lancaster 2024, or no, 2025. And Matt Hudson was there. He's like, you want to shoot it? And I was like, ah. He's like, you want to shoot it? And I'm like, ah, sure. So I played around a little bit, plunked around a little bit, and ended up getting me a super light wooden recurve just for fun.
yeah,
They were out at Lancaster doing their shooting thing. I was at the shop shooting the wooden recurve. And I was like, this is fun. I could get behind this. So Matt ended up sending me one of his target bear bows that he didn't use anymore. So I got shooting with it, and I was pretty decent starting straight off, very decent. So I just was like, oh, this is something that I can be a goofy goober, have fun with, and be one of a very, very competitive shooter.
yeah.
So I just played around with it while I shot my compounds all last year. I shot an outdoor nationals thing we had in Springfield with it last August. That went super good. Shot really well. Then I shot Lancaster. It went really well. I just kind of do it for fun. I mean, I really do.
Yeah.
I might go to Lancaster again this year. I haven't decided. It just takes so much time to want to be back, you know.
It's a time investment, and
Mhm.
it's a lot of, it can add a lot of weight sometimes too, but
Yep.
man, it's fun that you mentioned, like, it's something that you can kind of have fun with and still be competitive and not, because it does
Mhm.
what you said about being like that top dog sort of guy. Like,
Mhm.
I mean, the proof's in the pudding. Look at, on the range, Kyle Douglas, on the range, Levi Morgan, on the range, Chance Boba. It's like you look at those guys and they're pretty stoic on the range. Once you get them off the range, they're a hoot. But like
Of
on the
course,
range,
yeah.
they're able to turn it on. And
Mhm.
man, I can't get through a full course without having some giggles.
Yep.
I gotta have
Yep.
some giggles on the way through. I just can't help it.
Absolutely.
Um,
Absolutely. That was at Lancaster. I can get behind a little bit of a boogie. They were
yeah,
playing jams. Like I'm talking like bangers, 10 out of 10, like Taylor Swift, like I'm jamming.
yeah.
Like
How do you
old
not
like
dance, dude? Iced
2000s
coffee in your
music.
hand. Yeah.
Dude, I was doing some boogies, and the best part was making eye contact with people that were taking it way too seriously and making them laugh or smile. Oh, it was so much fun.
Dude, yeah.
But
Yeah, that's a blast.
oh, it was fun.
That's a blast. I'm glad that, we're kind of on this topic too, because this gives me the chance to talk about something I haven't gotten to talk about yet
Yep.
on the podcast. So I recently became the unfortunate new owner of a longbow, and I it was the weirdest experience. It was awesome, like, at the same time. I was buying a camera tripod off of Facebook Marketplace, and this gentleman pulls up, and we're gonna complete the transaction in this parking lot. And he's like, "Hey, do you mind if I pop my trunk open real quick?" Which, by the way, I'm in St. Louis, so when someone
Yeah.
says I want to pop the trunk, I'm
Ugh.
like, "Whoa, hold on a minute," like, let's settle down, bud. But I'm like, yeah, sure, go for it. So he opens his trunk up and he's like, hey, I have this. It was my father's. None of us kids are into archery or anything like that. We don't know anything about it. Would you be interested in this? And so he ends up selling me this longbow, and it didn't have a string on it, and like
Mhm.
top to bottom in mint condition. I mean, it looks like it had never been shot. Look, certainly. So after doing some research, come to find out it is a Sky Trophy longbow. It has a little stamp on it, designed by Earl Hoyt Jr. And the manufacturer, like it was serial number 709. So an early model that puts the manufacturing date somewhere between 1989 and 1993,
Oh,
and it
isn't
was
that something?
manufactured in St. Louis, Missouri. So that was
That
super
is
cool.
so cool.
Man, I started talking to some guys, and I'm like, I almost feel like I should hang it up and not shoot it. And like, unanimously, all the guys were like, no, like that
You
thing
gotta
was
shoot
made
it.
to be shot. You got to shoot
Mhm.
it. So I've been shooting the thing. Here is where I slightly misjudged the situation. Uh, I'm a 6'1" guy, six
Mhm.
foot one, 6'2", somewhere in that neighborhood. It depends on the day and who I'm talking to, but uh I've got a 31.5 inch draw with my compound with
So you've got a
trad bow
30 and a half, 31 inch?
30.5
Oh
roughly
gosh.
with
That's
it's a
disgusting.
and I'm gonna make sure that I got this right because I'm gonna look at the bow again. Yeah, it is a 69 inch 69-inch AMO,
The length is awesome
and
for you. That's super
yep,
long. That's good.
awesome length, 55 pounds
Oh
at 28
gosh.
inches.
So you're pulling it to like 65, dude.
I put the hand scale on it and drew it back to the corner of my lip, and it was
Oh
reading
no.
64 and some change.
Dude, I shoot like 43 pounds. If 43 pounds is like the number that I'm looking for. If I'm going and picking up a brand new Black Widow, it's going to be 43 pounds at 29 inches. You're shooting
Dude, I'm suffering.
65.
I
That's
if I
tragic.
if I had like a list, I've got out of state hunts planned this year. I've got too much stuff going on. If I was willing to just go drop, I'd make the run to Black Widow right now. Because
Yeah.
again, 3 hours away, I just go do it. You're gonna be able to see this if you guys are watching. You'll be able to see this. If you're listening, you won't. I've got like blood blisters on my fingers from where
Do
the
you
string has been coming. Dude,
Are
I'm
you
shooting
shooting
with
it
the
without a
tab.
tab? With
No,
the
it's with the
tab?
tab. Doesn't
Eesh.
matter. Dude, I need like a 4-layer tab because this thing is so hard. Dude, 65 pounds right there. When that thing flies off my fingers, it's just
Uh,
I've lost feeling in like from like right there
I
in that
bet.
groove forward. That
That's
nothing.
terrible.
And I've been pounding like 100 shots through it a day. Dude, I'm like trying.
You're
I'm tr-
gonna shoot a deer with it.
oh yeah, I'm planning on it. I'm planning on shooting a deer with it. It's not coming out of state with me, but like a doe or something near home, yeah, sure. Um, the problem is like right now what I'm having, and I'm realizing it's just because I'm over freaking bowed at this thing, but like I have to very consciously keep this elbow up because otherwise I'll keep my elbow tucked down, like just trying to keep it, just trying to keep it
Short
back.
draw that thing.
Dude, oh my gosh, it's unreal. Because I'll send you a picture later, but like when this thing is back, like fully back at my draw length, it
Oh,
is making a U-turn shape. I mean, it is a lot. I think I'm pushing. I shot it to the chrono at 174.
how heavy are your arrows?
They're coming right around 500.
That's cooking.
Cooking,
What's
cooking.
dude? I bet you're having to shoot 350s.
I'm shooting 400s right now. That was I've got 125 up front.
Mm-hmm.
Started with a 400 spine. I have some guys at my local shop. Shout out to our sponsor Denny Dennis. Got those guys. Yeah, woo! We got those guys. The Kevin. He's kind of the trad guy around the
Mm-hmm.
shop. He started me off on 400 spines with it because I guess those longbows tend to kind of prefer a lighter spine.
Be a little
And so
softer.
far, it's been shooting pretty darn good. I haven't been. The darndest thing, I'll get your opinion on this. The darndest thing is I'll shoot it um aiming, like trying to aim down the
Uh-huh.
shaft and like, with the point, and I'll have like two good shots and I just fall apart trying to aim it. And then I go shoot it instinctive and I'll go wad a group of arrows just drawing back and staring at the dot and letting it go.
Yeah.
The problem is with the instinctive side of things, I'll have two or three groups in a row like that, and then after that, I'm all over the place. You know,
Mhm.
it's not like a repeatable thing for me yet, and
Yep.
maybe it's just because I'm too
Yep.
early into this stuff, but, I can't find anything that's been like, "I can do that every time." It's like,
Mhm.
if I do it, I'm like, "Dude, let's go." You know,
Yep.
that was an accident.
That's something that's gonna be so hard about having that weight so high. Aiming down the
Yeah,
point is gonna be tragic. Cause like my bow's heavier than I like it right now. It's at like 47, 48. And dude, aiming down the point's just not fun. Like
yeah,
holding it back, sitting on that point, and then going. Cause with you having that weight so high, you're gonna be collapsing as you shoot. So you're gonna be
yeah,
pinching down, which is going to make all those shots different. You're going to have your first two arrows are probably going to be really good. Your last arrow is probably sucking, probably going way down to the right or something.
religiously.
Religiously, yeah. But with your instinctive shooting, what you're doing there is you're shooting while you still have your maximum capacity. So you're getting back, boom, going. So you're looking for a sight picture rather than actually aiming off of the point. People call it, they say instinctual. There's actual, in my opinion, no such thing as instinctual shooting because in order to be an instinctual shooter, you have to shoot enough in order to know exactly what your arrow is going to do. And you know that by seeing your sight picture, understanding the distance, and making your shot based upon that. Our brains are too smart to do anything actually instinctual, which is
Yeah.
super cool. Nathan and a lot of those guys and Matt Zerniak, they all nerd out on that kind of stuff. But so that would make sense with your instinctual side of things. You would be wadding them in the same spot because you'd be getting the same sight picture every time.
Mm. Yeah, that's interesting too, because like, the funny thing is that I've realized that when I miss really, really poorly, like I just make a really poor shot, it's almost exclusively far left. It'll go far
Mm-hmm.
left, and I'm
Plucking.
realizing it seems to be some shots may be plucking, but almost more often than not, it's me not canting the bow over far enough. When I can't
Mm-hmm.
far enough over, I get rid of the left and right. But I think that once we get through 15 shots in a row, 20 shots in a row,
Mm-hmm.
I start letting stuff slip. I'm not canting as much.
Mm-hmm.
Did I push my index in the corner or my middle finger in the corner on that last shot? Those
Yep.
little things
Yep.
start going away because all I can think about is, getting
Yeah.
that thing back there. It's yeah, it's brutal. I mean, it's rough. So it's definitely not been the easiest introduction to trad archery, and I'm sure
Mm-hmm.
I would love it a whole lot more
You
with
would
like a
have
40
so
pound
much fun
widow,
with a
you
forty,
know?
43 pound widow. Or any
Yeah.
any bow that's 40, 43 pounds.
Yeah, I'd probably get a lot better at it too. But like right now, I can confidently say if I have a deer at 15 yards, it's done. Like
It's
that,
getting hammered.
I can do that. I can do 15. Once we get to 20, 25, I fall apart. It's like it's not even like remotely close. It looks like I just have never shot the bow
Isn't
before.
it crazy how that happens? Dude, I see that too.
Over
Like I'll
5
have days
yards.
where it's it's so frustrating because like with a compound, yeah, not all distances are the same, but I can go to 140 and 70 yards. I throw a grouping like that at 70, at 140 it's going to look like that. Like
Yeah.
that makes sense. It gets bigger as it goes out. With the
Yeah.
trad bow, I might do that at 20, and then 25's like I've never even shot the bow in my life. I'm like, I don't even know what to do
Dude, I
anymore,
don't
dude. What
listen.
is
I
going
I
on?
was I was shooting it, and I was shooting at 15. Okay, 15 yards, and then I was shooting at 20, and I'm like, kind of was in the neighborhood. I'm like, I'm feeling pretty good. I went to 30, dude. I launched an arrow into the river. Like I was just, like I'm like, I know I'm an arrow down. It's
Yeah,
like
for
this is
real.
horrible.
For
I'm not
real.
enjoying this at all. This isn't fun.
Uh,
But no,
uh,
it's funny because and I'll get your take on this too. Like I feel like shooting the trad bow is kind of opened my eyes to some things that I'm doing or that I need to work on with my compound. Like funny enough,
mhm.
like when I'm shooting really, really well with the trad bow, and I was shooting a great group. I
Mhm.
noticed it because I guess it's a new enough activity to me and it's something that I am uncomfortable enough with where I'm more in tune to how I'm feeling while doing it.
Yeah.
So to kind of explain that example, I'm shooting, 5 arrows at a time. That's what fits in my quiver. So I had a group where I shot 4 arrows and every single one of them was in this black dot that I was shooting at. I'm at 15 or 20 yards. I'm like, "Oh, this is like my best group of the day." And I go to grab the last arrow and I felt it. I felt my heart rate go up because I was about to shoot the last arrow and I did not want it to go out. And I drew back and I rushed the shot and it went out and I go, dude, yeah. I mean,
That third
I was
arrow on a.
screaming all the 4-letter words after that, dude.
Yeah,
I was so
absolutely.
mad. And I was sitting there and I'm like, you know what? How many times have I been at an ASA and I'm shooting really good and we're down to like the last 2 or 3 targets and I'm like, we're like almost at a really good round. And then I go through and like I look at my score sheet and it's like the last 5 targets I fell apart. Like what, and I'm
Hmm.
like, dude, I wonder, there's something to that where it's like, okay, I'm thinking too much about, instead of executing each shot individually, I'm thinking too much about my collective shots, and that's actually putting pressure on me and screwing up my
Hmm.
shots, which is it was so funny that the trad bow brought that out of me.
It, dude, the trad bow, it'll, like, for me personally, it hurts my compound shooting whenever I shoot it too much.
Seriously?
Because with the trad bow, dude, I get way overextended. Like, I get a
Mm,
lot more than I should be, like back leaning a little bit and everything. So my draw length, my stagnant, like straight static draw length should be 29 inches. I shoot 29 and a quarter. I shoot it decent. My favorite draw length to shoot, especially after shooting the recurve, like 29 and a half.
oh wow.
Phenomenal. Like, and the problem with that is, like, I played with that a little bit last year and whatnot. It just doesn't work for hunting. I mean, you get anything like up's fine because you're extending going up, but dude, you get anything
Mm,
downhill a little bit, the draw length's way too long and you're leaning really bad, which is
yeah, yeah,
something that
yeah.
I've been trying to really play with because from flat surface, I shoot my bow phenomenal. Whenever I'm downhill, I don't shoot it as good. Whenever I'm uphill, I shoot it even better. So it's a really
That's
weird
super
dynamic.
interesting. That's
Hmm.
super interesting that you bring that up. So we're into that hunting realm now. So, uh, as someone that doesn't know how to draw their bow back, right, and all that good stuff, what are you running for hunting this year? What's your setup look like when you're going out there in the whitetail woods? How are you slapping your bow together right now?
Yeah, so I got two, I would say two rigs that I'm gonna hunt with this year, maybe a third. The main is gonna be my recurve. That's gonna be my main rig. Shooting a Hoyt
Love
Satori.
it.
I think it's the long riser, as everyone tells me. I actually have no clue. I just bought it off Matt Hudson. Don't know, don't care. I just shoot the bow. It's got the medium limbs on it. I do know that. I saw that. 45-pound limbs on it. I usually have them backed out a little bit. Right now they're maxed out just to work with the arrows. I'm shooting HLRs out of it. 125 up front with a 50 grain half out. So it's getting a little bit more weight up front, which is nice, while keeping my arrows around that lower 400s, which I like. Um, that's kind of what the trad hunting setup looks like. For Western
What
hunting,
broadheads are you gonna run with that?
good question. Great
Not sure
question.
yet.
Not sure yet. I have some of those tooth of the arrow ones I might play with. We're gonna try to be the day six dealer in Missouri. So day
Oh,
six is
nice.
picking one dealer in each state, and I would like to think we'll probably get it. So I might play with those. I honestly haven't fully decided yet. Something
Yeah,
beast broadheads. I'm gonna shoot beast broadheads out of it some this year too. I just get so caught up watching deer and not shooting deer. My parents, they shoot all the meat, so I don't even care to shoot a deer unless it's something that gets me excited. So
yeah. Yeah, well, speaking of getting excited, man, you back in 2023, so it's pinned on your Instagram
back in the
page.
day, back when I was a
You
young pup.
you took a heck of a buck. You took a stud. And the
Yep.
thing that stuck out to me was that it was an urban buck, and that's another thing I've been
Mhm.
looking to talk about on the podcast here lately
Yeah.
is those permission pieces, those small property stuff, urban/suburban hunting. What's the story behind Popeye?
So Popeye was a deer that I found on a Monday, and then I killed him that Friday.
Oh
Dude,
man,
it
so
was wild.
quick, not a long story.
Not a long story. So that year, 2023, I was just scrambling to get as many permissions as possible. That's when Lee was starting to get really big. It was getting me all excited about the door knocking and stuff, of course. And so I just doing all this door knocking and stuff. Got a bunch of cool permissions. Found some decent deer. And my mom and dad were like, "Dude, you gotta talk to this one family that we've known forever. Like, I think they got some land somewhere right around town." And I was like, "Oh, okay." So I pushed it off, of course, didn't talk to him for like 2 months. And then my parents were like, you should really look into that. So I talked to them. They're like, oh yeah, you just go up there, make yourself at home. So I made myself at home on this place. It's like I had a buddy contact me after I killed the deer and he was like, hey, I just want to let you know my mom like watched that deer grow up in her backyard. And I was like, oh
Ooh.
my gosh. Yeah. Yeah. Like that deer used to eat in my mom's backyard. I was like, that's crazy.
Yeah.
So I get permission on this place. I put out a few cameras, let them soak for a couple weeks. This is early October. And I check these cameras and I get a picture of probably what's 140 to 145 inch clean 8 point, which was like, that's an 8 point that I'll shoot.
Oh yeah.
I was like, I'll shoot that deer. That's a big deer. I'll shoot that. So of course it was just passing through, never got pictures or even saw the deer. So I conscripted Aaron Shaw's services. He had already shot a buck up in northern Missouri. I conscripted his services. It's like, dude, let's go in, let's hunt. So it's a Monday. We walk into this place. It's just a beautiful, like 40, 50 acre chunk. Just
Yep.
right connected to town, connected to a ton of houses, subdivision, like the whole crap, the whole 9 yards. So this chunk, there's 2 fence rows going through it, chunks of woods around it, and essentially we got set up in a chunk of woods that's by this creek. We get up in this tree. This is November, or it's like October, like 29th or something like that. So it's a
Oh
Monday.
yeah. Right when it's getting good.
Right when it's getting really good. We bumped a deer walking in that was a big deer. No clue what deer it was. It was either the big 8 point or there's another big deer that you're going to hear about. It wasn't the big deer that I ended up shooting. But we worked our way around this property, got set up in a tree, saw 7 bucks that night, and at dark saw this doe come out with this big deer. We couldn't tell how big it was that dark, but we could. It was just like, dude, that's a
Shooter.
giant. Like shooter on private, like giant shooter on private. It's like whoa. So we got it. They worked their way down this fence line. We slipped out behind them. They had no clue we were there. It worked perfect. We went in the next day on Tuesday. We both were working in the shop then. We got off work, left that Tuesday, got in, got set up, saw 6 more different bucks than the bucks that we saw the night before. So
Wow.
it's 13 different bucks in 2 days.
Yeah.
Crazy. Ton of does. It's the kind of place you'll go and watch 40 does come through in a night, and that's just normal. Just one of those magical places.
Oh yeah.
And so we ended up just seeing those deer. We got out of there, and that week, believe it or not, I used to play a little bit of disc golf, and it's
Dude, I
like
had the longest run of that.
oh dude, it's so much fun, but it just conflicts with everything in my life.
I know it.
And it's a Wednesday. Hear this. It's Wednesday, November 1st. And I'm talking to Brad. Hey, can I have tomorrow off, which would be Thursday? There's this disc golf tournament I think I want to do. He's like, dude, you're not taking off November 2nd to go play stupid disc golf. And I was like,
Yeah, I was never that
I was
crazy
like,
about it.
but it was like he's like, bro. I was like, okay. He's like, I'm going hunting tonight. I'm going hunting tomorrow. So I'm like, okay, if you're going hunting those days, I'm going Friday. He's like, all right. So I got Friday off work for hunting. So Friday I get to this property and I'm like, I want to check those cameras, see if I got any pictures of anything because I'm super excited. That's on the camera that I was gonna check's on the southeast corner. I was gonna go hunt the north or no, that's on the southwest corner. I was gonna go hunt the northeast corner where that big buck came out of that we saw that Monday night. I'm walking along this tree row and boom, crash. This doe comes busting out about 10 yards in front of me, and behind her a mid 150s 10 point, like hammer 10 point.
Oh yeah.
Comes running behind her. I'm like, uh. This thing stops at 60, dude. Quartering two. CRP's blazing all over. I'm like trying to range him and figure out how to get this deer shot. Fail, of course. The deer leaves, and I'm like, crap. So I'm like, well, I'm an inexperienced hunter, and I'm going to make a dumb decision. So I decided to continue to go get that trail camera. So I walk in, like shooting that big deer. I'm like, people will be like, oh, it can't be that much dumb luck. It was dumb luck. It really was. It was just right place, right time. And That's what it takes a lot of times. But so I walk in to go get this camera. I check the camera. Not a single good deer. The biggest deer on the camera was maybe 100 inches. I
Yeah.
turn around and there's a 10 point sitting right out there where those two just came out of the woods, like 120, 130-inch 10 point, a little 10 point, scrub 10 point. I was like, okay, I gotta be here right now. So he busted, of
Yeah.
course, and I climbed my happy butt up in a locust tree.
Oh boy.
Yeah, yeah, that was an adventure.
Yikes.
Climbed up in a locust tree, got about 16, 17 foot up, sat down. About 15 minutes later, I look out to the left across the field. There comes a good 8 point running a doe. 120s, 130-inch 8 point running a doe. I was like, nice. So I sit here a little bit longer and I'm just hanging out in the tree saddle, knees against the tree, I'm not sleeping, but like I'm slumped. I look over to the left and this doe just comes busting out of this chunk of trees on the other side of the field. And this giant comes out behind her. The deer ended up green scoring 174 and like
Oh
four or
my
5/8
goodness.
as a 10 point with a like a one
Oh
inch
my
kicker.
gosh.
Yeah, yeah. So with them was a little fawn. There was a fawn with them. So mature doe in heat, hammer buck, fawn hanging out with them. Weird group. Don't see that.
Yeah. Yeah.
They stop at 50 yards to my left. Range, big tree limb, can't draw my bow. I'm sitting here watching these deer at 50 yards do their thing. They work their way out in front of me and then into the big chunk of trees in front of me. I'm grunting. I'm trying to get him to do something to come my way. Nothing. Doesn't even care about me. Cares about the doe, of course. They work into this big chunk. I'm like, crap. So I'm sitting there and I'm like, well, if I'm going to get a shot, it's going to be on my weak side in a saddle. So I'm going to stand up. I stood up, turned around, back against the tree, and stood there for probably 15 minutes. I rattled, hung out there. It was back whenever I was super excited about scent thief, so I'd spray my scent thief everywhere. And I forget what I was doing, but I looked up and that stupid buck jumped over the fence onto. So imagine a big L. This is land I don't have permission on. I'm sitting here. There's open area down to my right, giant open field my left where they came across and headed into the thick stuff. Well, this buck jumped out of the thick stuff onto the clearer area right to my right. And mind you, I'm about 110 yards from a major highway.
Yeah.
Like not like an I-44 highway, but like a actual like highway.
Actual, yeah, like problematic highway.
Like hundreds of cars going all the time on it. It's not like a 2-lane, but it's like one of those 1-lane highways that has traffic all the time. So
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, this is cool. So he's doing his thing and I'm watching him and I range him, and as I'm ranging him, I look down, the stupid doe was at 50 yards. He was at 70. She was at 50 and she saw me. So I'm like,
Oh
oh
no.
boy. She didn't like me. She just kind of, and then worked her way off. She got on a trail at 55 yards and worked her way into some thick brush. And I was like, okay, he's going to get on that same trail. I'm hammering him at 55. Well, that little fawn had somehow gotten to about 15 yards in front of me in my tree row. And I heard it and I looked down and see it. Dude, that big buck saw that stupid thing, went crazy, grunted, was sprinted straight into me. I draw my bow back like this, the wrong way. And dude, this buck's just loping straight in. Matt, 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 Matt. The buck stops, super hardcoring too, stick it right behind the shoulder, shot, crack. I see the arrow sticking way out of him, and he runs in the clear area around the thick stuff, disappears. In hindsight, I heard him fall. It just didn't resonate with me. In my first year of bow
Yeah.
hunting, I messed up a deer and shot him bad, and the arrow's sticking way out. So I instantly was like, I just did the same thing. I wasn't even
Yeah, yeah,
shaking.
yeah.
No nerves at all. I was just like, I failed.
Deflated immediately.
Exactly.
Yep.
Unbeknownst to me, I could have got down from my tree, walked 10 yards forward, threw up my binos, and he'd been laying there, but didn't know that.
Yeah.
So he ran towards the highway too. So I was like, oh gosh. So I got out, I called Aaron. Aaron was on a college visit that day, which is why he wasn't with me. He's like, okay, I'll be home in a couple hours. We'll go look for it. So I backed out, Drove the highway 5 or 6 times to make sure that I couldn't see the deer laying somewhere, because if someone sees that, they're cutting the head off and taking it,
Oh yeah.
100%. No deer to be seen, so I went home, hung out for a couple hours, went back with my mom, dad, Aaron, and his dad, and they're looking for blood. Me and Aaron are like, there's not gonna be any blood. I don't even think the deer's dead. Like, it wasn't good. And we get looking, Aaron finds a super heavy footprint. It was like, that's got to be him. Let's follow it a little bit. It's pitch dark, of course. Came back after dark with headlights. We walked along about 15 yards, and I looked up with my headlight, and there's just racks sticking out of the grass
Oh
about
my goodness.
50 yards from the road. So crazy. And that
Dude.
was the story of that. And then
Dude,
I got a
how
bunch of
awesome.
people like, oh, hey, I knew that deer. Or, oh, hey, I saw that deer. Oh, hey, here's a trail cam photo of the deer. I had a guy send me a trail cam photo of the deer two, almost 2 years after I shot the thing.
I had that. I had that with a couple bucks. The guys are like, "Hey,
Mm-hmm.
look at this," and I'm like, "Oh,
Mm-hmm. Oh,
you're not going to be getting any more of those."
yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
It's,
man. But
it was
how freaking
surreal.
awesome though that especially like just that area and having that much action there, and
Mm-hmm.
how absolutely insane that knowing there was that much action in that area, you wanted to go to a disc golf tournament in the middle of all of it.
I
That
don't even,
might be
don't
the
even get me
nuttiest.
started.
That might be the
We're not the
nuttiest
same
part of the
anymore, I
story.
promise. We're not the same anymore. It was like a 75-degree day. We're not the same anymore.
Oh,
But
dude,
dude, it
that's
was
funny.
crazy. It was
Dude,
crazy.
that's awesome. I love stories like that because, especially when you're talking about the rut, man, all it really does
Hmm.
take is the right place at the right time and just having things come together. And oh man, that's too cool.
Absolutely.
When you were going through that and you'd shot that deer and you finally saw the rack and go, what was that immediate reaction there? Was it, was everyone right next to you, or they all saw it too at the same time, or were they trying to catch up to you, or what?
It was more of, I looked up, saw it. Me and Aaron were there. They were like 50 yards behind us looking for blood. And it was like, oh my gosh, there he is. And they're all like, what, what? And me and Aaron ran up to it, of course, and it was laying there, hammer. They came up
Did you,
and
did you have any idea that he was that big, or
yeah.
did you?
I
So
got to
you
see him
knew
for
you knew what
I
he
got to see him
was.
for about 15 minutes. I'm the kind of guy, like, if I see a buck, I'm also the kind of guy, I see a 120 buck walk out, 120-inch buck walk out. I'm like, giant, but then I realize what it is, and I'm like, not. I always get super excited to start off, but I'm very
Yeah,
realistic with my numbers. I take scoring deer and stuff super seriously. I love it. I'm eating up a
yeah.
scoring deer. I love scoring people's deer, all the stuff. But I was looking at that deer and I was like, this deer is gonna be 160s or better. Like, I'm gonna
Yeah.
be realistic. I'm not gonna tell you it's gonna be 170 something inch deer, but I'm gonna be realistic. Say 160s just to be safe, and it went 174. 26-inch
Dude,
beams, just
unreal.
37 inches of mass. Just a crazy buck.
What a
Seven and a
hammer.
half, 8-inch brow tine. Cool deer. Super cool deer.
Is that something that you've been doing since 2023? Have you been
Hmm.
hunting kind of some suburban formation pieces and stuff like that? Did you
Yeah,
kind of,
so I've become what I call the deer finder, or the deer try to finder. I uh
yeah,
I have quite a few urban pieces. I do a ton of deer driving, urban deer driving, looking for big bucks. Like, I've got a piece right now that last year we had, I think, 4 bucks in the 140 range on it.
oh
But
wow,
when you're looking for a 160 or better, it's like, oh, next year those deer could be there,
yeah.
and then they're not, and then they don't grow at all, and it's frustrating. But I've done quite a bit of urban stuff since then. Not as much as I'd like. Springfield, Missouri is a mess. It's all corporate and stuff, and there's the square, and I've maybe got a permission or two in the square, like the square of Springfield, maybe one or two.
Yeah, yeah,
But getting stuff in there is nigh impossible. I will tell
yeah.
you, I have about 300 pins on Kansas City. And the day that I have a better car than the '07 Honda Accord beater, we're going up there and doing a ton of door knocking.
That's awesome. Man, I've luckily I got into the whole suburban thing probably around 2014 or 2015
Oh,
is
so
when
you've
I
been in
got
it a
like my
while.
first.
That's awesome.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I got into it pretty early, and one of the things that like I battled forever with the whole suburban hunting thing was the amount of guys that were like, "Oh man,
They're pets.
those are pet deer. You can just walk up to them and shoot them." And I'm like, "Dude, you have no idea.
No
A
idea.
mature buck is a mature buck is a mature buck, and
Hmm.
one of the hardest concepts to explain to somebody that doesn't have like suburban permission pieces or suburban hunting experience is like there is a different level of tolerance. Like,
Hmm.
yeah, if you're on the sidewalk in the neighborhood, you can probably get within 20 to 30 yards of that deer before it starts trying to
Hmm.
run off. But if you are in the woods, they know that people are not typically in there and people's
Hmm.
scent is not typically in there. And I
Hmm.
have gotten winded, I've gotten seen, I've gotten blown at and busted at 150 yards plus by suburban deer
Yep.
because I'm not on the sidewalk or up
They're
in the
smart,
neighborhood.
dude.
I'm down in the woods. They know when something's wrong or when you're not where
Yep.
you're supposed to be.
Now you can pull the homeless trick. One of the permissions that I do have is a homeless. I call it the homeless camp. Like it's homeless will live in it pretty often. Like there will be a
Yeah,
tent
yeah,
set
yeah.
up, stuff like that, and which gets weird around hunting season because I got to get them off.
Oh yeah.
But dude, I just dress up in the crappiest looking clothes, and when you're wearing
Dude, shut
crappy,
up.
like dude, it's crazy. Like you can just walk in
Get
and
out of here.
the deer really don't care. It's absurd.
Hold on. I can't tell if you're rage baiting me
No,
right
no, no,
now.
no,
Hold
no.
on a minute.
Dead
Get,
serious.
get
I
out
have
of
a
here.
permission.
Get out of here.
Homeless camp.
Dude,
I have walked up within like 50 yards of some of these like super solid deer, and people might hear me
shut
say
up.
140, and cool. Even if it's a 130, like still, like you can get in there.
Okay, you have my word right now. If you can dress up in tattered clothing and walk up to a deer and shoot it with your trad bow,
So
I'll come
that's
film it. I'll come film it for you. I'm bringing the Sony, and we're gonna get the best footage of this possible. You got my word.
It's not how it's like what Lee says quite a bit. I don't use it as a hunting method, but I will use it as an entry method and a trail cam method. Because the homeless, like if you're walking through the woods stealthily, those deer know that, and they instantly are
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
okay, this is a predator. If you're walking through like an idiot, singing songs and doing dumb stuff, dude, they could care less. Like I'm just your everyday
Dude,
crackhead out there
get
having
out
fun.
of here.
That's serious. It's fun.
That is unreal. Oh my goodness. Dude, I
Hmm.
I could not even imagine. I could not even imagine what it would be like to get like a trail camera view of you just like meandering, fumbling through the woods
Loitering.
to not
It's just
speak.
straight loitering.
Oh my god, yeah, just look like you have no business being there,
Throw on a
and you'll
flannel
be
that's like all
fine.
beaten up and
Oh my god. Well, then you just look like a trad archer. You just put on a
that
flannel.
too,
It's all
that
beat
too.
up, smells
Hey,
like cigarettes. There you go.
homeless guy, trad archer, pretty much the same thing. Come on now.
Dude, a little known fact: when I bought this longbow, my next stop was to Goodwill, and I bought myself a flannel shirt, a boonie hat, and then I made them all smell like cigarettes, and then that's now my entire
Is
personality
this
is the trad life thing,
rage baiting
dude.
trad guys on a podcast now?
Yeah, you got to,
You got to.
they don't listen to podcasts; they're still using MP3s, so they
Ain't
don't
that
have
the
to worry
truth?
about the trad guys.
Speaking of trad guys, dude, the other day for a video, I did a sky draw with a trad bow. Dude,
Oh, dude,
that
shut
is
up! You
so
had that.
hard. That is so hard.
Okay. You're
You
just talking about
dude,
the sky draw.
oh dude, with a trad bow, it took me like 8 shots before I even started recording just to figure out how to draw the bow. Because with a
Dude,
trad bow, you're just straight here. I was like,
yeah. Dude, I was talking about, or immediately the video that came to mind was with the sight like mounted like
oh, dude.
half-assedly to the side and it was rattling, like whipping around every time you shot. I was
Oh,
crying. I was
oh.
crying
The
the whole
funny
time.
part was,
And
too, that
then
was at like, do what?
the the guys in the
Oh,
comments like,
dude.
"You ripped that sight off. That's not trend." It's like you can literally see it flopping around and rattling in the
In the
video. Like,
video,
what are
I'm
we
like,
talking
I love shooting traditional
about?
recurve. So traditional. Everything's traditional. And these guys are like, no, 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 no. And then there'll be the guys that feel
Oh my
really bad that
goodness.
don't realize it's fake, and they're like, "Oh, do you actually like?" I had a guy message me, "Hey, do you actually use a sight? I've been thinking about doing this for my trad bow." I'm like, "Dude, I have no clue how to do that with a trad bow.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
not your guy." I'm not your guy.
Oh, that's
Uh,
too funny, man. Oh gosh. Yeah, that sort of thing, like I said, that's the sort of stuff that'll put a smile on your face. But you know what? Like just from getting to talk to you today, it seems like that's how you approach everything, dude. Whether it's the competition stuff or it's hunting or it's being in the shop with people or the media stuff, you're finding some way to get a laugh and to
oh
just
yeah.
have some fun with it and kind of joke around with it. And it's a breath of fresh air, man, because as much as I love it and everyone loves it, like the super, like, hardcore, cool, dark tones, like hunting
Hmm.
stuff. A guy ripping back, sky drawing a trad bow with a sight on it, and the thing's flopping around in the wind. That's the kind of content that I just think's hilarious and just
Yep.
puts a smile on your
Yep.
face. And the comment sections never disappoint. So, dude,
Ever.
you're definitely in a pocket of some really cool stuff. So, dude, thank you for coming on and thanks for the conversation. This has been a blast. We ought to get together sometime since we're not
Dude,
too
we're
far
so
apart.
close. We ought to. That'd be
I
a
know it.
blast.
I might make my way down to Midwest and I might come out and set some trail cameras with you or something to get some video of your new method, your new
Oh yeah.
technique of getting
Hey,
in
just
on those
you
deer
just let me know.
undetected. Yeah, we'll do that. And man, go ahead and let people know where to find you. We're gonna link it all down below, but just kind of let people know where they can
Yeah,
find you on
you
YouTube,
can.
Facebook, all that stuff.
Ah, shoot, you'll find me. I'll pop up eventually. Just look up Goofy Kid drawing a bow, and it'll be the first thing. Just Matty B everywhere. Just
Perfect.
Matty B with a bow.
We're gonna have Matt linked down below in the description of the episode for you guys. Thank you so much for listening, Matt. Thanks for coming on, and we'll catch you guys on the next one.
Thank.
I hope you guys enjoyed today's episode of the Non-Typical Project. If you're interested in our special guest, their information, as well as my information and our sponsors' links, are all going to be down in the description below. If you guys could, be sure to leave a positive review for the podcast as it helps me out a ton. If you got any questions or anything that caught your eye during this podcast, you can leave a comment down below and I'll be sure to get back to you as quick as possible. Thanks for tuning in, and I'll catch you guys next week.